Scorpio, hello my loves, and welcome to the Mother Tressa channel and your just general reading at this time. If you're already familiar with this space, then you already know what to expect, so welcome back. I'm glad to have you back. But if you are new to this channel, then welcome in. We're here to embrace you with nothing but love and acceptance, so feel free to come in as you are, wherever you are energetically, be it positive, negative, or neutral. It really doesn't matter so long as you leave better than you came. What's going on with you guys? Overlying energy, you have the King of Wands. Why don't these cards want to go back in? But for those of you that aren't familiar with this deck of cards, there we go. You guys are a fixed water sign, but your ruling planet is Mars, so that can be activated within your chart right now. You might be coming off extremely defensive, or you're just being very bold and courageous, and you're stepping outside of your comfort zone for sure with this red here, and that's speaking to the root chakra as far as the energetic centers that you have within you. Now, if the root chakra is overactivated, you can be coming off as extremely aggressive. You can be, just bickering a lot with people in your external environment. And it stems from you just not feeling secure within a certain area of your life. So it can be romantic, it can be familial, it can be amongst friends, or it can be on the professional front here with this King of Wands energy. You can be feeling really restless with this King of Wands, but at the very least you are very regal, you are very attractive, you and your libido may be at an all-time high. So if you're single, just be careful with how many people you decide to entertain with this Wands energy, because not everybody cares about their sexual health or their reproductive organs, and so you can be susceptible to contracting an STD, STI if you're not careful with this energy, because Wands energy, you can be a little bit promiscuous. So just be very careful. But at the very least, a lot of you guys, you're feeling very regal. You're feeling entrepreneurial, right? And wanting to go on a different venture, something that is going to be a little bit more exciting to you. A lot of you guys, you're feeling more optimistic than you have before. Also, that can come through with this Wands energy. A lot of different scenarios, because it's the only card that's out. I don't really know where this is going quite yet. Here we go. Cruise that hounds you, you have the Four of Pentacles. What's real about the situation, you have the Queen of Swords. So for a particular group of you Scorpios, again, this is going back to that Mars being your ruling planet. I want to say it's the secondary one. And so that is the type of planet that is all about having the warrior spirit. You know what I mean? Can be very argumentative, especially if your Mars is in a fire sign like Aries or Scorpio, or you just have other areas within your chart, again, that are activated that forms like a trine or just like a conjunction with Mars, then you can be feeling that. And again, like I was saying, it's surrounding potentially your family member, because what's crossing you is the Four of Pentacles, and the number 4 vibrationally talks about the zodiac sign of Cancer. So within your own home life and environment, if you have children, maybe they're being a little bit more defiant with this King of Wands energy or rebellious. In the Four of Pentacles in the depiction, it is a younger kid, but when they are trying to test boundaries with a parent, they can try to act older than their age, more mature than their age, and be acting out with that King of Wands energy, acting like a know-it-all here. So I feel like some of you guys are just trying to figure out the best way to parent and or potentially discipline your child here, because with the Queen of Swords, this is all about like laying rules, right? And setting those like firm boundaries. You can be a strict parent, being like the good cop, bad cop. You're having to play that potentially with your partner if you already have someone. But if not, and you're a single parent, then it's extremely hard, especially if you're trying to raise a son into being a man, because though we are comprised of both female and male aspects, right? Going back to that yin yang principle that I always talk about on this channel, it's like there are just certain things that a male will respect in hearing from somebody that looks like them. You know what I mean? So I feel like at this time, if your kid's not involved in any extracurricular activities, that might be something that can help them channel their impulses and their anger, potentially these outbursts or them acting out. They just need to find a different outlet here. So I would say, as far as disciplining them, just depending on what they've done, it might not be the best idea to take away that privilege if they're involved in any sports, because at the end of the day, that's a way for them to decompress. So just be very careful with how you're doing that. But otherwise, to flip it, this can be if your love life has been a little bit rigid, you've been a little bit more conservative and or shy, you're coming into a period where you're wanting to explore your body or that of another person with this Wands energy again, and that romance and that libido, just your sexual desires, and wanting to be a little bit more investigative with this energy here. What's wrong about the situation? You have the Page of Swords. So let's say you're already in a relationship, and with this Four of Pentacles that's here, your partner is may also be fixed as well, even though Cancer is a cardinal water sign, but they're okay with doing the same thing, like having the same routine, doing the same, what do they call it, like positions in bed. You have to be very careful with this Page of Swords energy with you expressing that you want to spice things up, because you have these two blue cards here. So this is working on the throat chakra and exercising tact and diplomacy and being suggestive and persuasive in speech when you're trying to get somebody to do something that they may not otherwise have an interest in. So just be very careful with that, because especially if you're in a heterosexual relationship or you're just dealing with a man in general, men's egos tend to be very fragile, okay? And so they can be feeling like they're not good performers, or there's something wrong, or that you're not actually satisfied, when that's not necessarily the truth of the matter, so much as it is you just wanting to try a different position and again just spice things up. So be very careful if this is you or this is the person that you are dealing with here, in the way that you tell them that. And then the where you need more information position, you have the Nine of Swords. It can, again, cause them to become like paranoid or give them anxiety, and can cause them to turn out to not be good performers. You know what I mean? It takes a longer time for them to become erect. Again, like you're not happy with the way that it is or the way that it has been. The King of Wands is fire energy. So if Scorpio, you are dealing with a fire sign, this is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or somebody that has those heavy placements. So again, can be very easily offended, though fire signs tend to come off as like tough, and we have tough exteriors, you know what I mean? And it seems like we are just super confident on the inside with the Four of Pentacles. Some of us fire signs can be self-conscious. So again, it's okay to be blunt, but you're going to have to find a way to, I don't want to say like beat around the bush, but for the delivery to be a little bit softer, again, with this Nine of Swords. There are some people though, like if you're single and you just want to, you know, have like flings, you just miss romance, you miss being touched or being shown affection or being pampered, because Wands energy also comes off as like spoiled energy to me, because fire signs can be pretty bratty. You know, we need a lot of attention. But there are some people that just don't take constructive criticism well, or they don't want to hear it here. So if you're single and you're trying to give somebody direction and they're not listening, I would say just, tell them to stop and try to get out of that situation safely, especially like if you're in bed. Here, I don't know why that came through with this 9 of Swords, but there are some people that feel like their ish don't stink, you know what I mean? And they feel like what they do with one person works for all people, but it's not a one size fits all when it comes to sex and just our overall anatomy and the way that each individual person's body functions. So yeah, you have to be very careful when you're trying to pick that type of person to lay down with. But also be careful not to lay down with dogs, because again, you'll get up with fleas. Where you end up, you have the 3 of Pentacles, and bottom of the deck is the Ace of Pentacles with the King of Swords beneath that. So if you are single and let's say you're at the point where you're trying to work up the courage to get back out into the dating pool or in the dating field, because you're ready to try your hand again. I don't know why that's coming through, but try your hand again at love. There is a divine counterpart that has the potential to come in, so long as you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket with this 3 of Pentacles being the outcome card here. I know for some of you guys it's really hard for you not to become fixated on one person, because they show you something and you have that glimmer of hope with this King of Wands and the 4 of Coins that crosses you. You feel like you have certain things that you have in common with this person, and then you become highly attracted to them, and that's like you stop dating. I would just say continue to casually date. Have you a little roster, and again, don't sexually engage yourself with all of these people, but it will help you to be able to find the King of Swords, if you know what I mean here, by keeping your options open. Because everybody, of course, is going to have a facade and put their best foot forward and try to leave the best impression, okay? And so you have to give it a few weeks for people to get comfortable, and then you start to see their true colors shine through. So with the Queen of Swords, just be judgmental without being biased. You know what I mean? Like, don't be discriminatory as far as, oh, this person's short, I'm gonna X them out because they don't meet my shallow requirements of the person that I want to have. Like, no. But just be discriminatory as far as like getting to know their family and their backgrounds and seeing how open they are with expressing that, talking about potentially past relationships that didn't work out, so you can kind of see what their faults have been and if they have improved at all, and just seeing where people become a little bit more reserved and or try to build a wall up, so that you can pay attention to those red flags and see who it is that's really just trying to string you along, as opposed to those that really want to get to know you, so you can really see who is being genuine, and make the proper assessments for you, again, to weed out those that are just trying to fill your head up with lies. Because 9 of Swords gives me opportunist energy and comes off as somebody that is like a pathological liar. So Swords energy can be that. So again, you can weed out those people to see who is really about what they say they are and who can back up their words with actions as well. And that's going to help you get to your person. For the singles, if you're already in a relationship, again, I told you what's going on, especially romantically, with your libido and wanting to do things that are more sexual in nature. Just again, be very careful with the way that you communicate wanting to try different things, because that's going to make a difference in the type of response that you get, whether or not this person's going to be open-minded or whether or not this person's going to become, again, like a little bit more self-conscious in the bedroom. So that's what I have for you, Scorpios. If this reading resonated, give me a thumbs up, share this with your friends and family, subscribe if you haven't, and book with me should you need to. But if I don't hear from you, then please just take care of yourself and your soul until you hear from me again. Ciao.